October 18th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the... Oh, excuse me, oh my god. This is the main gate to the studios. The security... Oh my god, my burping is back. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 o'clock p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on that day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman with the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. And after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 o'clock p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day at 5 o'clock p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? We're not gonna You know what would be funny if this was actually on the top, so if someone was just mashing through, they'd get punished for it by having Phoenix listen to it again. But we do have an idea of what's going on, so we shall skip it. I think I could probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear was added to the court record. Samurai spear. The spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question, and that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Also, no no prosecuting Gumshoe today. Will the witness declare her name? Oh my, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. When I was young, I was an old bag. Still other children would make fun of me. Believe it. Blah, 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 blah. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we could get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Witness's account.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1:00 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since this morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1:00 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5:00. Now, the murder happened at 2:00 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2:00 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was headed toward the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Alright. So, Wendy Oldbag, yeah, she is definitely an interesting character, and yeah, there is, quite a lot of infamy behind her, because, yeah, this game does introduce her as a mainstay to the rest of the series. Well, for the most part. What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers observing, you know.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always, but never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through, too.
You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I always like getting these little small dialogues, even if it does nothing for the case. It's always just nice to see, like, at least most of them.
Anyway, it was 1:00 when I got to the guard station.
Did you see the victim then?
Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He had already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station.
Tell us what happened next. So you were watching there the whole time? No breaks, not even a second?
Of course! I'm a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing me how I do my job, whippersnapper?
No. Just that after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday.
I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time! Snipper whopper!
Snipper whopper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection? So the witness was on duty through the afternoon, the whole time. Very well. What did you see? Get a hold it there. How did you know that?
Oh, I have my ways. That overdressed young detective told me. I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, the detective isn't cut out for his job.
Edgeworth is not objecting to that because he's very much true, unfortunately. Poor Detective Gumshoe, getting routed out by a security guard. $2:00, are you sure?
Sure as spit.
Well, who was that man?
Really, you should try to not get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies and all up in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was.
Actually, wait, hold on. Oh my god, for a second I thought I said objection. So, you saw Mr. Powers.
That's what I said. Go wax. Got wax in your ear, Sonny?
Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
Wait, what did it say? I did not read. Nick, doesn't she seem like she's enjoying a little too much? Windbags love gossiping about other people's misfortunes. Ugh, can't she get her kick somewhere else? Okay, that's what she said, okay. Alright, secret weapon time. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-O Tokyo. Miss Old Bag, this is the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't! Well, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this courtroom is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, do you not have proof that this person in the photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Hump! Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone was so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
Already, he's saying Gumshoe's losing some pay. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. The man in the photo.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw him Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty badly. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
So he had sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She has got to be hiding something. I'll press into her until she squeals. Okay, so... let's see here. So, Powers trip and fall. Let's see what that says. Trip and fall?
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Well, let's skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' sprained ankle.
You may continue your testimony. He broke a prop?
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear? The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there to duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the courtroom. So there goes that change.
Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty badly.
Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to the dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Just the nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me, which is... where is the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? Actually, it's clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure? Are you sure, Your Honor? Hold it right there! We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The fence has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on the camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that a possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
Witness's account continued.
The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., correct? The only person I saw go in the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Alright, time of death. Let's see. How do you know that?
Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective, and then, after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything.
I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. No one else went in there. I feel like it might be the card, because his card key was still in there, so he would have access to it.
If they had, I would have seen them.
Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going to the studio has to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy? Old Windex sure has balls. Or, well, you know what I mean. Old Windex have a way skipping over important details after all, or for the matter entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? I feel like it has to be the card because, like, how else would he get in there? So, I'm gonna go for it. That's our first failure of the series. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in the statement, Your Honor. How exactly are that evidence and statement just now related? They aren't, are they? Not at all. Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before you're making accusations. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. So yeah, that's what happens. We lost 2 points by that. So, yeah, just don't go reckless with it or else it's a game over and your client gets declared guilty. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before 1 o'clock? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention...
Did I already go over this one? Oh yeah, I did. Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all.
Nobody suspicious looking. Right. Wait! I think I may know. It could actually be the guide map. So... Ah, crap. It might have been on the wrong one. Yeah, I think there was different dialogue there, too. So, a thing I like to do, and a lot of Ace Attorney fans like to do, is if
all else comes to fail, you must save in order to not get that game over. So I'm gonna try the map again. No. That is very weird. Okay, so basically, you just load, and yeah, it's pretty simple. I didn't really want to do this in the series, but yeah. I'm going to try doing as little as possible. Anyone else? I'm a little stumped here, actually. I know I've told you guys I played this game before. I actually got into Ace Attorney, I believe, during the start of the pandemic, like 2020 or 2021. And I haven't played this game in like 2-3 years, so... yeah, like... I'm a little bit lost, not gonna lie. I think it was probably 3 years. I think it was 2021. But, yeah, I don't remember this case as much as I thought I would. Do have... Should go in the photo. It can't be the autopsy report. Should close the gate. Sorry if this is taking me a while. I'm like trying to think it through. Like, we don't really have much. Like, I'm trying to... Huh? Hold on. That was by accident. I meant to click, like, the B button, but my finger slipped to the X button, and I presented it. What? Okay. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So, whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. This photo printed out this computer printed out this photo. Note on the back of the paper the words October 15th, 2 o'clock p.m., photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 o'clock p.m. on October 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit that at the end where it says photo 2. Photo 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Eh? Me? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? But believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Huh, Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper, too.
Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag?
Ah, that's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate? Someone other than the Steel Samurai?
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please. Actually, real quick, I do want to check the court record. Yeah, oh, I love how her age is question mark, question mark. Nobody, the game doesn't know her age, because she probably kept it a secret. 18. So, wow, her and Maya about the same age. Oh, I mean, Maya's a year younger. Security guard at Global Studios claims she saw Powers heading to the scene. Yeah, he really does look like an older version of Richter Belmont. Anyways, enough about that. Let's go to the testimony. The other person. And the music has gotten faster.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you know. Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but this is I kind of expected this.
It's pretty funny how usually Edgeworth is calm and collected, but yet this woman is breaking him. Like, he's just making his job way harder than it should be, and it's not a complete run in the park like it was the last time. She's a complete thing, like, complete counter to Edgeworth in this thing, as someone being, well, I guess, giving her testimony to the defense. Okay, so, anyways, I'm getting a little bit off topic. Another job? Oh, my bad for that.
That's right! I checked the people that passed by in the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that the security camera takes.
Do you back up all the security camera data?
Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating.
How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part.
For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag.
Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point.
Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Come to think of it. Classic old windbag maneuver, Maya. Might be a useful tactic to remember for use in any future career as a windbag. Let's find out more about this erased photo. So we're probably going to have to press there. How exactly do you determine that this isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can... Okay, never mind. Never mind. I thought this was a different one. Oh, okay, never mind. This is something new. I kind of skipped out on a bunch of dialogue. Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked in the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area.
There was someone that snuck in. Actually, is there a way to check for older, Can I check older? I think I changed settings by accident. Yeah, I did.
The grate has been loose on a while. It leads to the outside, and, well, that's where they come in.
They came in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers.
We're kids? So, on the photo that you erased,
it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studio that day? One was a steel samurai dragging his leg, and the other was a boy that looked to be about in the 2nd or 3rd grade?
Yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop them, can't catch them.
A boy in the 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not possible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy.
Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much attention. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on?
I mean, the boy was there, but that makes him a suspect.
Yeah, they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecutor to consider this new information, and no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes. Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping. Honest.
So who was in the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? Doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And that'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there's still no one that could have committed this crime. I call a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claims.
There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order! Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great, as if the stakes weren't high enough. So who is this person, other than Mr. Powers, that could have committed the murder? The security lady! It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag! Ha-hoo! The Steel Samurai's dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Order! Order! Is this true, Oldbag?
Oldbag? It's Miss Oldbag to you.
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. But why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could have pointed the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you think you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there and do something.
What's my move? Maybe it's now my chance to take this the whole way. Give Granny a break. Guess this does kind of make it look like she's the killer. Funny, I feel bad for her all of a sudden. It's true the witness could conceivably have committed this crime. Yet we must forget that the victim was an action hero. As formidable as her personality may be, I doubt she'd be strong enough. Uh-oh. If he removes her from consideration, that means Mr. Powers is it. Sorry, Windbag, but I have no choice. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Mrs. Oldbag's actions that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That's it. Now, Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute! What about the other person who went into the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler, though. As you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? The boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to the kids and mean to the elders, day whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. Your proof that shows the boy could have not committed this murder. That would be the card key, maybe. I think it is. The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this?
Murph?
The Windbag's speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me! I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about? By whom? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Isn't the judge's hammer usually supposed to mean that it's over? Well, anyways, my lips were sealed.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio at the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to pretend they hadn't been at the studio that day. But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Aren't you Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something.
So you were told not to talk?
That's right, by the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studios at the day of the murder.
Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around the lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2.
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You'll go through the gate and all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've asked all my questions, but...
They said they had nothing to do with it, see?
Miss Oldback, this is a trial for murder.
I know that, silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
So you got your bonus and you still talked? I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Guess there's no harm in getting as much info as I can. Okay. Them? Who are these people?
Well, the director...
Oh, wait, hold on. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have run through their action scene without a director? Of course! Oh, wait. Yeah, we already went through this. That is completely my fault. Okay, let's take a break. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at the Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's points. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldback, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Aw, really, it's nothing. Or should I?
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, you haven't figured out just who it was in the Steel Samurai costume. Could it really have been old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit just to take pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, or with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right, we'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks, guys. To be continued. So, it seems that a producer and a director were there at the same day too. So, next time on Ace Attorney, we are going to be returning to the studio in order to find out who this producer and director are. And put them to question once and for all. And also to find out who that little kid was that also snuck into the studio. So, we'll see you guys then.